Hello, welcome to another PC Invasion Plays, this time of Heaven, I'm not sure, it's HEVN in all caps, maybe going for a bit of a duality of naming there, I don't know, it probably stands for something. This game's coming out in July. It's not just about photos of dogs, as we will see, so there we go, just thrown that photograph onto the side there. Just disgusted with that picture of a dog and that postcard. Ugh. Yeah, it's coming out in July. It's got a demo out at the moment, which you can play on Steam, and this is that demo that I am playing. Well, that I did play. This is post-playing commentary, but yeah, things are gonna get strange when I finally decide to answer the door. And stop looking at medical results for myself. I think you play as Sebastian Marr, and we'll see what that entails pretty soon. So yeah, things quickly going a bit strange. That's right, we were in a cryo-sleep pod all along. This game is about you mining on faraway planet, orbiting Barnard's star, I think. That gets mentioned at some point. Basically, the people who work here, they work in shifts. They're not all awake and out and active at once. Yeah, there's a very valuable mineral or substance that they're mining out here, whose name I've forgotten for the moment, but it'll come up again in the documents in due course. Yeah, and so for the first part of this game, you're just kind of going through the process of being woken up from the cryo sleep, trying to figure out what your whole role in this might be. This lady called Edna is she's up and about somewhere because she talks to you occasionally. Yeah, it's interesting, this game. It's very kind of, certainly at the start, you get a strong feeling of kind of isolation and having to figure stuff out pretty much on your own. It's I was gonna say it's not big on guidance. It does give you guidance. It tells you kind of what the next thing you should be doing. It doesn't really, but it then leaves that up to you to figure out how you might go about doing that. You know, it'll say, oh, you need to get the solar power going again, and that's it. That you just gotta figure out where that might be and what tools you might need for that, and so on. You do have a robot buddy. And here's a bit of the UI inventory quest log type stuff. You can see my right arm there is just a bit injured. Apparently that got a bit screwed up from the space flight, I guess. Perhaps I slept on it funny. It's gone a bit numb.
Unable to confirm your identity, please step back and try again.
The way you walk around in this game is a little bit strange. If you see me kind of bumping up against doors quite a lot, it's because you have a lot of momentum when you're walking forwards. You'll press the key for like half a second and it'll take quite a few steps. So sometimes I overshoot how far I'm actually wanting to move and then end up smacking into the door, but that happened again there.
Sebastian Marr, how are you feeling? That is unusual. It's possible staying in hibernation longer than expected could have contributed. We'll continue to monitor you if necessary. Are you ready for your health orientation? There are 4 stations up ahead. We will ensure your motor skills and mental faculties are unharmed after hibernation. It's a trivial process.
So I wasn't supposed to be having dreams in my stasis cryopod. Right, I've skipped ahead a bit here because there was a lot of tutorial stuff about like, can you pick up a thing? Yeah, I can pick up a thing. I figured out how to do that. You might notice that the field of view has changed a little bit now. I did have it at 95 when I started off, and it was given a bit of a fisheye lens type effect, so I switched to 85. But 85 seems to be a pretty happy medium between it being too narrow and being a bit funky looking. So
we are on backup. You have time to get unpacked. Your personal effects are in your quarters. After that, there's a mission update and briefing, and you should pick up your work tablet before heading outside.
So there, for example, we're given a set of things to do, broadly speaking. Get our stuff, get our briefing, and maybe head outside.
If you need something, you might have to go out of your way to find it.
And here's me hassling my medical... sorry, he's not a medical bot, he's just a bot buddy. There we go, some backstory about the world. This is probably going to mention the mineral that I was talking about before, that everyone's super into. Cameo by Einstein. Right, yeah, it's Soviten is what we're mining. Apparently everybody wants that, so that's the job. Well, it's not as easy as all that, because it's dangerous and difficult. Don't know why I was doing that. Possibly ironic that I was messing with it after reading the mental health section. Don't know. There is definitely a sort of mental health hallucination, PTSD type element to this game. There's definitely some drugs you can find to keep yourself sane. Some of the other crew, some of the other miners definitely have some health issues, as mentioned in their bios. I found a light. Torches are always useful in games like this, and in any game really. Gives you a torch, you're going to be using it before too long.
I'm about to head back down to the big sleep. Wanted to say that I did leave a few messages for everyone out there. Overall, everything went pretty great, I think. Just watch out for the usual stuff and you'll be fine. By the way, I put in a request for more meal packs, so they should be arriving soon. Good luck.
Yeah, so that's a message from one of the other miners who was previously awake and has presumably gone back into cryosleep. That's a space utensil I can't really do much with. Here's a delicious looking sand beetle. Apparently I can eat if I want. If one gets desperate enough, I suppose. I'd rather eat this cereal though. Just shoving all this into my inventory. Removing the fire extinguisher from its designated spot is probably against protocol, but might also be useful, so...
These ration dispensers are provided by the company at reasonable prices, I've been told.
Typical. Making the workers pay for some of their own rations with the wages that they're earning from working for the company, therefore keeping the money in the company. Still very true to life. Even in the future, the workforce is getting fucked by its company. But at least they provide you with some nice ambient screens to look at. The robots look a little bit like Segways. I've just realised Segway scooters that some police forces in America now ride around on. I saw some of those in Vegas. Alright, time to go to the personal quarters. But whoa, what's this? What's going on? I just see a ghost? Maybe. Maybe I was just in cryosleep too long and I'm going nuts. Here's a report about a so-called terrorist group who are not too thrilled with the off-world mining that's going on. Quite a lot of backstory up front for this game if you're wanting to delve into it. This is not my cabin, by the way, that I'm reading this in. This is somebody else's. So it explicitly says they're expanding their operations into space and they have sabotaged a couple of other installations. Distinct sense of foreshadowing as I knock over some plant pots there. Makeshift hacking device, definitely want that. So, Edna, the other person, the other worker who is awake, has a ogre manifesto in her cabin, which is interesting. Maybe she just happens to be reading about it because she's interested. Maybe she's sympathetic. Who knows?
Warning. Minor tremors detected.
I quite like that I don't think they're scripted, those tremor things. They don't necessarily... Well, if they are, they've done a pretty good job of hiding that. They do seem to just kind of occur every now and again, which is... It's a nice kind of immersive touch that you're on this pretty unstable planet. The surface gives you tremors every now and again. Yeah, let's talk about me losing my goddamn mind.
You may be hallucinating after stasis. There are medications that could help.
Just chow down some pills, mate. You'll be fine. This, the kind of inventory and quest UI is, it's a little bit clumsy. It's not particularly intuitive to navigate. Like I might be missing some useful shortcuts and hotkeys for it or something, but with the default setup, it's a little awkward to move around, especially when you're trying to organize your inventory, as we'll probably see later. Oh, this is my cabin, apparently. There's no way to drop things gently in this game. You just kind of. This is quite a nice idea that when you. It's got the fiction in place, so that when you see media like that card, it gets kind of stored in your implants, so you can recall them. That's a good, nice way of marrying up useful game mechanics with fiction. It's always good to see. There's a bunch of messages from my family back home, which I suppose pretty good actually, because of course, I've been in cryo sleep for I forgot how long, but multiple years, like a decade or something. So you get a set of messages that kind of progress through. It's like your sister gets married and then she has a kid, and parents have to move into a smaller house. Economic situation is kind of getting worse. Yeah, it's pretty good backstory stuff here. And good that it addresses the fact that, yeah, while you're staying in stasis, of course, everyone else is aging except your girlfriend. I think it says that she's kind of put herself in stasis as well, so that she'll be the same age when you get back or something like that, which is again, that's kind of interesting that it addresses how people might decide to try to react to these circumstances should they occur, having someone you intend to be with going off into space and disappearing for decades. Yeah, what do you do about that? If you don't want to break up, then you either got to accept the massive age difference that's going to be in place, or you do something like that.
This room may not be home, but it is yours. At least until your shift ends.
So I didn't really know what to do at this point, so I think I just went and used the bed at some point. I puzzled for a while over this, like, you've got a private message, because I thought it was on the tablet that I just picked up, but it actually refers to a different tablet, which is a little confusing, but I figured that out eventually. Not straight away though. Oh, where's the message? I don't know. There's no message here. What's it trying to tell me? Yeah, it says new private message, doesn't it? But we'll see what that refers to at a later time. Time to just toss everything around.
Restricted areas are secured with an electromaglock, a specialized maintenance security system. There are coded keys for paired locks managed by the Nomoni maintenance staff, who have extra privileges and security clearance.
That will prove useful later on. I think I cut it out, but there's a maintenance area you walk past that has some locked areas, locked by maglocks, so that's why it's useful to know about that. I figured it would make sense for old Sebastian here to need some sleep after cryo sleep. I've advanced the video a little bit more here. We're still in the same area effectively, but just looking around some different parts.
Warning, solar panel misalignment.
There's the kind of operating manual. Oh yeah, that's what it says. The operating manual. The how to do your job, basically, is what this is. Good advice for what you're going to need to do some mining. And for if you accidentally almost kill yourself. I think you get charged for medical expenses as well. This company have really got a lockdown on extracting as many wages as possible out of their team. Like, oh, you're doing an incredibly dangerous job where supplies are low. Yeah, if you get hurt, we're going to charge you for that. Also, if you get hungry and like run out of supplies, yeah, we're going to charge you for that as well. I mean, granted, it seems like they're getting quite well paid, as they should, for this incredibly dangerous and unpleasant work. But yeah, they're figuring out ways to squeeze a bit more out of their workforce. This is perhaps why one of them has turned to reading extreme environmental terrorist literature. There we go, a bit of stuff about visual hallucinations, which it seems it seems I was having before. I mean, who knows what that was. Stuff about solar panels, that'll prove useful in a little bit. But yeah, again, I think one of the things I liked about what I played of this game is that it, in terms of its guidance and telling you what to do, you know, it's all quite in universe. You know, it doesn't. It's not as if these tips are kind of popping up at the top of the screen, going like, "Oh, now you should go and see a medical bot, and now you should do this, and now you should do that." It's it gives you the information, but it's up to you to kind of retain that and to remember it and to put that into practice without it, you know, guiding you the whole way. So yeah, Edna's been poking around in maintenance, apparently, which is interesting because we're not technically allowed down there. Again, I will remind you that Edna is the person who has extremist literature in her quarters. And she's also got some pills. But that's not too dodgy because, as the literature said, stress and hallucinations are a thing out here, and you do need that medication, so it's perfectly fine. It's also perfectly fine for her to be reading the kind of material she reads. As I said, she might just be interested. This may all be she's been framed by the game. I'm supposed to think ill of her, but I mean I don't, because it seemed like Ogre kind of had a point with some of their manifesto, but hey, there we go. This is someone else's work tablet. Earlier on, I think they got kind of cut out. I did try and put 0451 in as one of the codes, but that's actually impossible because there's no 0 on any of the keypads. It starts at 1, so that's no good.
This room may not be home, but it is yours.
Don't know why I asked him that.
The SR1 recharger supports remote recharging. Devices such as helmets, flashlights, and others can all be recharged expeditiously.
That basically is a recharge node for things. Towards the end of this video, we'll see me using a flashlight that runs out of power, but then if you take it next to a recharger, it'll charge it back up again, which is, of course, useful. There we go. This is some of my fellow employees. That's Gemma, who left me the message earlier on. I'll just throw her dossier over there. Here's Nazir. Not totally sure how to pronounce his name. Apologies. And here's Dubious. Here's Edna. Who knows what Edna's up to?
The mission is made available at the briefing terminal. You will be assigned a pin for your work.
Probably is
tablet.
completely innocent. She's probably completely fine. Get a bit of a graphical problems there. Yeah, she's left me a magazine in case things get out of hand. It says 2094 in the corner there. And I think I thought, oh, maybe that'll be a code or something like that I can plug into something. Now, I almost picked up a very useful item there, but didn't, because I got distracted and thought, oh, I have a code on a sticky bit of paper? I'd better try that out. And then I remembered, no, there's no 0 on any of the keypads, so there can't be a code that's 2094. Now, I should have remembered that I opened the little briefcase and there was a potentially useful item inside, but unfortunately, I forgot that. And that will be to my cost later on. Luckily, mercifully, I can chop that part out for you, but basically, if you're watching this as some kind of guide, you should have picked that item up. There we go. A451. Maybe that works. Nope. I just haven't been given my own code for my own tablet yet. It's a map of the area I'll be dealing with, supposedly. Quadrant 7. It's my stomping ground, if you like. And so someone found a patch relating to the crew of a different mining operation, possibly from the same company. Not sure. It's a little mysterious, that whole sequence. No doubt relevant at some later point. This is just a demo after all. So she wants me to deploy a sensor at a high point for some unspecified reason.
Welcome to Nike, Crew 31. There have been some updates to the mission.
So yeah, the crew patch was from Crew 29, so 2 before us.
There is a possible collapse in Quadrant 7's cave.
Interesting.
Instructions and restore access to the resource transfer station. Please refer to your work tablet for normal daily tasks and duties. The work quota has been increased from 2 to 3 ore samples per shift. And the missed quota find is now 500 quota. Your crew works in cycles, paired together in staggered shifts, responsible for Quadrant 7 and Quadrant 8. Your exposure suit will protect you from most of Nike's background radiation and gases. However, be sure to take appropriate medications and measures. Stay calm, be mindful, and work safe. Good luck.
You have been assigned a new pin for your work tablet.
Hooray! I can read my actual stuff.
This is a brief refresher on Sovitin.
Time to learn about Sovitin.
And how to stay safe on Nike. Sovitin was the first natural super heavy element to be discovered. Before Sovitin, all super heavy elements were man-made. It is thought to have cosmogenic origins, primordial nuclides created by cosmic ray bombardment. Sovitin's isotopes are very rare and found in some asteroid and planetoids. Sovitin may be the rarest transactionide and is extremely unstable in its processed form. The atomic mass is thought to be twice that of ununoctium. It exhibits a high level of quantum unpredictability. This makes precise study very difficult. It is gaseous in certain states, but solid when entrapped in ore samples. Processed Sovitin is extremely dangerous to humans. Its radiation is damaging to the ligand-gated ion channels, but there's still a question whether the damage is permanent or reversible. Certain medications have shown potential. To survive surbiton handling during extraction and processing, decontaminate regularly, maintain proper medication protocols, and report any signs of ionization immediately.
Yeah, a lot of just a few science details there about stuff I'm supposed to be mining. This is where I embarrassingly forget the pin number I was quite literally just given. Luckily, it's noted down on one of these pages. There we go. 53C6.
Tablet pin recognized. Warning. Main quantum radio connection.
So what's this? Radio communications are down.
If you need to contact Earth, you should probably get that quantum radio fixed. The quantum radio connection is disabled. No communications from these quadrants can be transmitted off Nike. I like your attitude. You'll want to make sure the correct circuit board is inserted into the quantum radio socket. The radio is in the server room.
Remember that item that I should have picked up earlier? Yeah, that's the that's the quantum radio circuit board. So we'll just skip ahead here to me realizing that I needed that item and putting it in there. Unfortunately, it coincided with a complete power failure, so now I've got a bit of a new problem to deal with.
We have drained all main backup power.
Typical for this to happen just before I get woken up for my shift,
I
eh?
don't think we have time to wait. You'll need to access the solar panel array with a replacement battery from maintenance. It depends on how many systems stay online. Let's just say, not for very long.
Warning. Minor tremors detected.
So, off to maintenance we go. Luckily, we picked up a hacking device and information about maglocks and the other things that we need to get into maintenance. So that should all be fine.
I don't think we have time to wait. You'll need to access the solar panel array with a replacement battery from maintenance. It depends on how many systems stay online. Let's just say, not for very long.
Warning, main quarters energy reserves are low.
You need a subterranean electromaglock key to access this area.
Nope, my passkey ain't gonna do it. Gonna have to hack this, which is something I'm gonna realize shortly. Yeah, I thought I had to kind of use this, but I think this is used in conjunction with the hacking device or something. The fact that I have both, I think, is the important thing, I believe. Finally figured out this is what I need to use. And then, huzzah! Key for the lock. That's what we have here. So this is the type of area I think where the inventory gets a little bit clunky. I'm currently holding the hacking device, so I've got to go in here and kind of put that away and switch to the key. There'll be some stuff later where I have to kind of switch back and forth with the torch, where it's, again, I don't know, maybe I can assign certain useful items to hotkeys or something. That's a possibility. I didn't find any of that. That would help quite a bit. Not having to like kind of spend your life inside the inventory for quite simple things like get out torch, you know. Some useful stuff down in maintenance.
May I remind you, neither you or Yarnix should have access to this restricted
Yeah, but the power's out, so, you know, what's the alternative? Just kind of sit here going, oh, well, I'm not allowed in maintenance where the spare batteries are, so I better not go. That would be stupid. I'd just die. But at least I wouldn't be breaking any rules. Here we have a sonic confusion grenade, which apparently I didn't have enough inventory space for, but that sounds useful. I'd imagine knowing that these are there is useful. And some first aid, which of course, always good. In any game, first aid is appropriate. Oh, and here we go. The first sign of combat in this game. Now, this is the point where it would be useful to be able to switch to a weapon quickly, but instead I've kind of got to do this. Combat in this game, well, so far, on the evidence of me versus a sand bug, not that great. Not that great. But, you know, it's throughout this opening area, the only thing I fight is sand bugs, so maybe they're just annoying to fight. I don't know.
Warning, main quarters energy reserves are low.
So yes, at this point my inventory is basically full, but it's one of those annoying situations where it's full of stuff that you kind of want, you know, like, okay, I could get rid of some food, that's probably not a good idea though. I need my torch, I want the drugs for the hallucinations and stuff, I want the hacking device, I need my tablet, I need a couple of weapons, so yeah, tough decisions on kind of what to leave behind. Which is good, of course. I mean, it's kind of the hallmark of a game that has a reasonable inventory system, that you're having to actually make choices about what to take and what to leave behind. Here we go, some more amazing combat with beetles that are shooting gobs of blue stuff at me for some reason. Kind of goes into slow motion when you land a killing blow. I don't really know why it does that, but sure, why not? More sand beetles for me to snack on later. So yes, as well as crouching in this game, you can also go prone, which is useful for getting into doors like this. Increase in tremor activities. That's probably something to pay attention to.
Good point. Memo cancelled.
And here we are. Some more mag keys and some full batteries. Which I don't have space for. for everyone's benefit, I'm going to cut out the inventory juggling that I had to do. Had to leave some stuff behind, but I guess I know where it is. You know, I can always come back, I think, into maintenance. Come and get that back, my little stash. That's an example of the torch being recharged and powered up again. So I now have a battery. Can get the solar array up and running. Yeah, the battery kind of runs out pretty quickly, it seems. Not quite sure about that. Anyway, we can now make our way to the solar array and get the power back on, and that'll basically be the end of what I did in the demo. There's more stuff to it, of course, but I don't want to show the entire thing here. It is something that, as I say, you can play for yourself if you search for HEVN, HEVN through Steam. There will be a download link for a demo, and you too could be playing this and falling down ladders just like me. Why are ladders always so bad in games like this? It's also a problem where it does the kind of like sticky ladder thing.
I don't think we have time to wait. You'll need to access the solar panel array with a replacement battery.
I'm not sure why I asked him this again.
It depends on how many.
For some reason here also, yeah, the sort of FOV on some of these terminals start to go a bit wrong. You can see that bits are cut off. That's partly one of the reasons I stopped playing for a bit, because it made it difficult to read what I was actually supposed to be doing. But it didn't impede me from getting to the solar array. So we're going to get to see outside the wonderful planet that we're on here. Can have a little look at that before we leave. That is, if we can master a ladder, which we just about can. Ah, it's a beautiful place. I think Lucy is some kind of drone device. I think that's what he's referring to there. Anyway, as we bring these solar panels back to life, I will leave you. Thanks very much for watching. Keep reading PCinvasion.com for reviews, news, and other videos like this one, having a look at the interesting PC games of the moment, or at least games that I'm interested in. There we go, power is back up and running.